Waters are beginning to recede in Ukraine following a catastrophic dam breach days ago. The Kakhovka Dam was a key reservoir for agriculture and drinking water, including to the Russian-occupied Crimean peninsula. Britain says that the fresh water supply there has been severely disrupted, while the UN says hundreds of thousands lack clean drinking water. Meanwhile, teams are still searching for those missing in the Kherson region. Ukrainian authorities say nearly 30 people remain unaccounted for. The destruction of the dam on Tuesday left thousands displaced. Both Russia and Ukraine blame each other for the breach.
The streets of this town in the Kherson region, still submerged beneath the waters of the Dnipro River. It's almost a week on from the suspected sabotage of the Kakhovka Dam that flooded vast swathes of land. Along with the cleanup, thoughts are turning to the long-term damage. These monsters have ruined our farmland. Nothing will grow for 10 years. It's an environmental disaster. The ecosystem of the area is ruined. Vladimir is the owner of this market stall and is only too aware of the impact the floods will have on the agricultural industry. The flooding is obviously a difficult situation for farmers, but especially so for those having to deal with landmines too.
They just want to destroy Ukraine, but we are Ukrainians. We will survive. We were beaten, we were burned, we had rockets flying over our heads, and we survived. We were mocked. Now we will not allow ourselves to go under. They will not beat us.
As a counter-offensive begins on the front line, Ukraine is also now fighting an ecological disaster.
And joining us live from Odessa now is Giuliano Stocchino-Weiss. He is the Rapid Response Coordinator at the International Rescue Committee. Welcome, Giuliano. Can you tell us, how bad is this situation, and can you actually get to people in need?
Yes, the situation is still unfolding and the evacuations are still ongoing. What we know for sure is that the approximate number of people directly affected by the flooding is 16,000. So far, about 30,000 have left the area, Kherson. We've been expecting a higher number of people leaving the area, but we're seeing a reluctance to leave Kherson region. We have deployed teams in Mykolaiv, which is serving as a transit region, and we have teams from the International Rescue Committee here in Odessa, supporting evacuees and internally displaced people here in Odessa in shelters and community centers, providing a home for the affected people.
And tell me, what are the most pressing needs for these people who are moved out or refusing to leave? What do they need?
Of course, food and water is the number one necessity that people are dealing with, and there's a very good coordinated response happening. For us at the International Rescue Committee, we're focusing on our protection activities, which means we are providing legal aid to evacuated people, advising them how to access to social services and how they can deal with the law regarding their ownership of their houses and how they can access reparations. Also, we are currently in Kherson city providing multi-purpose cash assistance. Probably this is one of the best solution in such an emergency, where the people affected can, with the best dignity, can access support with us on the ground.
And Giuliano, the IRC has access to the Ukrainian side of the Dnipro River, but what do we know about how people are faring on the Russian side?
We have been dealing with this scenario since the very beginning of the war. Access is almost impossible. There's only a handful of smaller organizations that have a very, very restricted access to some areas. But we know that there are high-level talks happening that are constantly failing. It is one of the biggest problems and a very serious violation of international humanitarian law, that humanitarian actors do not have access to these territories. We almost have zero information. We've been hearing some organization trying to do evacuation and trying to send support. Out of the 650 square kilometers, which is currently flooded, and this is a number if the current gates at the dam still hold. If those would be failing too, we're talking almost 1,000 square kilometers that would be flooded. Most of it is actually on currently inaccessible areas. We, as the IRC, are unable to access those areas for now, and it is absolutely zero information that we have from the authorities on the other side.
A dramatic situation. Giuliano Stocchino, Vice Rapid Response Coordinator at the International Rescue Committee. Thank you so much.